Have you ever wanted to live out your power fantasy of ruling a castle? I mean, who doesn't want their own personal peasants to scrub their feet? No? Just me? Well, my friend, you stumbled across the right video. That's right, I'll be showing you how to create your very own medieval-themed castle, complete with farms, peasants, crafting, storage, enchanting, and more. Let's get into the tour. Okay, so starting off the tour, we're of course going to be taking a look around the exterior of the base. And because this base is pretty much like a big compound, we just have walls that surround the entirety of the base. We've got a nice little design with some deep slate tiles on the inner part of the wall, and then we've got like these kind of pillars with stone bricks, and we also have some stone blocks in between those stone brick pillars, just to add some nice little detail. We've also got a bunch of azaleas as well in between the pillars, and a lantern on top of the center of each one to keep the area around your base nice and bright, so mobs don't spawn too close to your base. And yeah, so these walls just repeat around the entire length of the base. That's pretty much it. So now heading through the front gate, we can actually take a look at the interior of the base. So the first thing I want to touch on is the pathway design. I couldn't really settle on a look that I wanted to kind of go with, but ultimately I ended up just kind of deciding on this design where we've got grass, coarse dirt, and also dirt path with a couple of little grass bits kind of sprinkled in. It originally started out as this down here, which is like stone and gravel. So feel free to change this pathway up to whatever you feel looks more interesting to you. And with that said, let's continue on. So firstly, to the left of the gate when we enter, we have our smelting area. We've also got a bunch of anvils here as well. We've got our blast furnaces on the left side, and then we have our regular furnaces on the right. We also have a couple of barrels sprinkled around the place for your storage for ores and stuff. Now turning around to the right of the gate, over here we have our animal pens. Just two separate areas, so you can hold like cows and sheep or whatever animals you wanted. And then over to the left of this, we actually have a little bit of a sugarcane farm. If you're wondering how these are actually growing, all of these are stone slabs with water inside, which is what of course allows us to place the sugarcanes here. And so we can pretty much just harvest every single sugarcane here, head down to our chest at the end, and just chuck them in there. Now towards the back right of the base, we actually have this little area that kind of dips down underneath our platform here, and we'll get up there in just a second, don't you worry. And down here is where our kind of main storage area is. We have a whole bunch of double chests towards the back area. On the left side, we have our crafting, some more storage as well, and some barrels. And then over on this side here is where our brewing is. We've also got a nice little infinite water source here for your water bottles for brewing, of course. Now heading back out of here and over to this side, you can see we have our horse actually kind of linked up to this fence thing right here, which is actually like the window of the wall. I mean, feel free to just hook up your horse wherever you want. I mean, even that's probably a better spot. I don't really care. And yeah, also under here is like kind of just a little bit of a decorative kind of area. We've just got a barrel, a chest, and some decorational items. And above this is also our walkway that leads into the back left tower. And then over here and here as well, right next to the gate, we have ladders that we can use to, of course, just get up on top of our walls here and defend our base with a bow and arrow. Like say, as we were leaving, we might have seen like a creeper over there or something. We can just quickly jump up the ladder, snipe him away, and then just continue on with our day. And yeah, so continuing on with the tour, we have our stairs as well here that leads up to the kind of top section of the platform. And then to the left of the staircase here, we actually have a door that leads into kind of underneath the platform area. In here, we have more storage. We've got a couple of barrels here, and then also this is where our enchanting area is. This of course does reach a full level 30. And then over here we actually have a ladder up into our main kind of tower area, but we'll actually take the other entrance heading up the staircase right here. So firstly to the right, we actually have our covered crop farm area where we have two separate fields. We've got carrot and wheat. We also have a composter. Oh my god, no. We've also got a composter and a couple of chests as well, just to store in your seeds and harvested crops. Now we can finally take a look at our main big tower here. I'll take a quick little tour around the exterior of the tower because I didn't really showcase it before. But on the front here, we have a nice kind of deep slate inset section here, which looks really nice. I really like the way this looks. We've also got my signature leaf design, and we also have another doorway here as well. On the right side, it is much more simplified, as if we had this kind of inset design on every single wall, then we wouldn't really have too much space on the inside. So that's why all the rest of the sides are just kind of simple looking like this, just with a couple of windows. We've also got a nice little flag up here as well. And yeah, now let's head on to the interior. So on this first floor here, we pretty much just have a kind of all-in-one area. We have a bunch more double chests, a little bit of crafting, and also our furnaces as well. Now this area is meant to be kind of just like an area where you want to just quickly get some stuff done. Maybe you don't really feel like running back and forth between your furnace area and your crafting / storage under there, and you just want to get stuff done. This is the area to do it. Heading to the left here, we also have our doorway that leads out on top of the walls here. Heading back inside, we can actually take the ladder down, and as you can see, this is where our enchanting area leads down to as well. Now heading back up to the second floor, we can take a look at the bedroom. And up here, we just have a single bed, a bunch of double chests, and some barrels as well. This is kind of meant to be like your personal storage. You store in your armor and your tools and stuff that you don't really want to lose throughout the rest of the storage in your base. Also, just a quick tip, if you wanted more beds, if you had some more players in this base living with you, you could simply just turn the chests onto the side here and then just just add in a couple more beds as well. Just thought I'd throw that in there for the hell of it. And also on this floor, we also have a couple little decorations. We've got a lectern and also an armor stand over here as well. Now taking the ladder up all the way to the top of the base, we of course have our flag. We also have a couple of barrels and a chest as well. This is maybe where you'd want to store a nice bow that you can use to defend your base from up here, as we have a pretty nice view of the entire area around us. And this would also serve as a pretty nice launching pad for an elytra, and you can just kind of head off into any direction that you wanted to go. And yeah, so that pretty much covers the entire tour of the base. If you wanted to create this for yourself, feel free to stick around and we'll get started on the tutorial right now. Alright, so first of all, of course, you're going to need a nice big flat open area just like this one. And just for reference, the base walls, so pretty much the outer perimeter of the base, is 21 blocks by 21 blocks. So just make sure your area can accommodate that kind of size. And so to get the placement right, all we're going to do is first place in a single stone brick. This is going to be the front left corner of the base. And now what we're going to do is continue on to the right, leaving a gap of 3 blocks in between each pillar. And we're going to be adding 6 pillars in total. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then place our block on the 4th one. So we're leaving a gap of 3, and then let's just continue doing this until we reach 6 pillars. So there's our 6 blocks placed, and as you can see, I haven't really placed it very well in the area, so I'm actually going to shift this up kind of over here instead. And there we go, I'm much happier with that placement now. Now what we can do is head to the very far right and actually just continue doing this, but backwards now. And we're going to do this another 5 times. So 1, and 5. There we go. And now we can just, of course, just continue doing this all the way this way and this way until we reach back up to this pillar as well. And there we go. So that's the entire layout of all of the wall pillars. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is go around and just make all of these 3 blocks high. Now with all of our pillars added in at the correct heights, it's time to add in the wall designs. So firstly, we're going to start off on the front left corner. It doesn't really matter where you start off at, as this design is pretty much just repeated in every single section, except for the front middle, of course. This is where our gate is going to be. So the first thing we're going to do is place some stone brick stairs in front of the left and right side pillars. And then leaving a gap, we're going to place some more upside down stone brick stairs on the tops of these pillars. Then on top of these stone brick stairs, we're going to place some additional stone brick blocks like so. And then we're going to connect them up at the top using some stone slabs all the way across like so, and then in the middle we're going to place an additional slab to make a full block right there. And we're also going to be branching this down by an additional slab as well. Now in between the 2 pillars we can add in a ring of deep slate tiles, making sure to leave out the center block as we're going to be placing a spruce fence here. Then on the ground here in between the 2 stair blocks we can remove these grass blocks and replace them with some coarse dirt blocks, and on top of these we're going to be adding a mixture of azalea and also flowering azalea. Be sure to randomize this between each wall just so it looks nice and natural. And then for the finishing touch, we're just going to chuck a lantern on top of the middle azalea. And now what we have to do is repeat this exact same design in every single wall section except for the middle one, of course, and just repeat that exact same thing over every single section across the base. And now with all of that done, your walls should be looking a little something like this. Next, it's on to adding the gate design. And for this, all we're going to be doing is repeating this exact same design in the center here. So we're going to add 3 slabs across, we're going to add 1 below and also 1 above in the central area. Then behind this, we're going to be adding some upside down stone stairs on the sides and then connecting them up in the middle here with a stone slab block. And then down here in between the 2 stone brick pillars, we're just simply going to add 3 fence gates like so. Next, let's head on inside and add in our big tower in the back left area of the base. So to get the pillar placement right on this, all we're going to do is align ourselves up with this window here. So the second one from the left at the very back left corner of the base. And what we're going to be doing is actually destroying these blocks here and then replacing them with some stone bricks. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on this window right here. So 1 window from the right over here of the base, and remove these 3 blocks and then replace them with some stone bricks. Then we're going to align ourselves up with these stone bricks that we just placed, and then place a stone brick in this corner right here, and then we can just raise this up to be 3 blocks high. And now we're going to be raising all of these pillars to be 12 blocks high in total, or 9 blocks, not including the ones that we've already placed. And this part is of course optional, but we're going to be adding in a kind of checkered pattern of polished andesite and then also the stone bricks, of course. So feel free to just make this all polished andesite or all stone bricks if you can't be bothered to do that. But now let's just go around and raise up every single pillar to be 12 blocks high. And there we go, that's all of the pillars done for the back left tower. Next, on this front side here, so the side that's facing towards the front of the base, we're going to add a strip of textured stone with andesite on the left side of this pillar and the right side of this pillar. So we're just going to add a single, just like 1 block wide kind of pillar that's going all the way up to the top, in line with the top of the pillars up here, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. Now just the tip, I would add in just a light kind of sprinkle of andesite. Don't add too much or it can make your tower have like a kind of ruined vibe to it. I mean, go for it if you like that kind of vibe, but it is entirely up to you. Now, along the top here, we're going to be connecting these up like so, and then we're also going to be adding in some upside down stone stairs in these corners. Now, while we're up here at the top, we're going to head to the inside of the tower, and we're going to add 3 deep slate tile blocks like so, and then we're going to be lowering this all the way down until we're in line with the top of the walls here, so on this block right here. And now let's just connect these up. And now that you have something looking like this with a big gap down at the bottom, we can actually just go ahead and fill in these blocks as well, and of course just add in a little bit of andesite too. Next, we're going to grab out some stone slabs, and then we're going to add in some kind of branching off from the wall here all the way to the right in line with the edge of the deep slate tiles here. Then we can add an additional slab down here to make this a full stone block, then a stone brick wall down below, and then also connect it up with a spruce fence. Then heading back up here, we can remove these 2 deep slate tile walls. We can also add in an extra stone block right here, and then chuck our spruce door on. Then 1 block spaced above this, we can add in a strip of spruce leaves. I'd recommend matching these leaves to be the same as the leaves in the biome that you're in. So I'm in a spruce biome, so I'm going to add spruce leaves. Then above and below the central leaves here, we're going to add some spruce slabs, and then in the rest of the gaps here, we're going to place some spruce trapdoors. Now heading all the way up to the top, 1 block spaced below the very top here, we can remove these 2 blocks and replace them with some spruce fences, and then all the way at the top here, in between the 2 upside down stone stairs, chuck on a lantern. And so that's pretty much it for this wall, of course, except for the top design. But now we're going to be heading over to the right, and for this wall, what we're going to be doing is first counting 3 blocks up, so 1, 2, 3, and on the top half of this 3rd block, we're going to be adding some stone slabs all the way across here. And then above this, we're pretty much just going to be adding a giant wall of stone and also andesite all the way up to the top here. And now with that wall added in, we can head back down here, remove these 2 blocks that are directly above the stone block here, and chuck on our spruce door. Then directly above the door, we can add in a campfire, and then of course extinguish it. And then to the left and right of this, we can add in some spruce trapdoors like so. And then below each of the trapdoors, we're going to add in a single fence. Now we can head all the way up to the top here, and then pretty much in line with our fences over here, we can remove these 2 blocks. So 2 blocks spaced below the very top here, and just chuck in 2 spruce fences like so. I also forgot on the front side here, we're actually going to be removing these 2 blocks, replacing the bottom one with some stone stairs, and then the one above that with a spruce fence. And so that's that wall done. Now we can head around to the backmost wall and pretty much repeat the exact same thing that we just did. We're going to fill in this entire wall with some stone and andesite. And we might as well do the same thing to the other side as well while we're at it. And now with those 2 walls added in, we can quickly add in our simple window designs. So the first 2 blocks we're going to be removing is directly above the outside walls here and replacing those with some spruce fences. Let's quickly do this on the other side as well. Then we can head up, and once again, 2 blocks down from here, or just aligning ourselves up with the existing window over here, we can chuck in 2 spruce fences, and of course repeat this on the back wall as well. And so that's it for all of the walls. Now it's time to add in the top part of the tower. And so to start this off, we're going to grab some stone brick stairs, and on all of the corners of all of the pillars here, we're going to be adding some upside down stone brick stairs, and then on top of those, also some stone bricks. Let's repeat this on every single corner of all of the pillars. Now with that done, we're going to be connecting all of these up. So on the bottom half of the stone brick blocks here, we're going to connect them up with some stone blocks. And then on the 2nd along and the 4th along, we're going to add some slabs below and also above. And now let's repeat this exact same thing in every single section. Now with all of that done, let's head on to the top part of the tower here and actually add in the roof. So the first thing we're going to be doing is removing the central 3 blocks along on every single side of the wall here and replacing these with some stone stairs instead. You may have to replace this lantern. I'm sorry about that. Then in line with the top of the deep slate that we have added here, so pretty much directly below the stairs, we're going to be adding in some stone slabs all the way across for our ceiling. Then in the back left corner of the tower, we're going to be adding a barrel with a lantern on top. To the right of this, in this corner, a chest. And then in the front left corner, we're going to add another barrel, except this time with a flower pot and also an azalea inside of it. Then in the last corner, we're actually going to be removing this block and replacing it instead with a spruce trapdoor. Then we might as well just open this up and add in our ladder that goes pretty much all the way down to the bottom, all the way down here. And this just gives us quick access all the way up to the top of the tower. For now, we're going to have to build our flag. So for this flag, all you're going to need is 2 different kinds of wool. I'm going with light blue and just regular blue. You can make this red and orange or red and yellow or whatever the hell you want. It's entirely up to you, of course. And so to start off the flag, we're first going to be placing some polished andesite in the center of the roof here. Above this, a single stone brick wall. And then above, once again, we're going to be adding 4 spruce fence blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Now to the right of this, we're going to be adding 2 of our first wool blocks, and then behind it, so kind of in a diagonal shape behind, we're going to be adding another 2 of our opposite wall, and then coming back in line with our original wall, we're going to be adding a single one like so, but instead of going above, this time we're going to go down by 1. And then we're going to go back behind in line with this wall and add in a single piece like so. And that's pretty much it for the flag and also the entire exterior of the back left tower. Next up, it's time to add our platform that spans all the way across here over to this side wall. And to start off, the first thing we're going to be doing is replacing this block here with a full stone block instead and extending this all the way down to the ground. Now to the right of the topmost stone block here, we're going to add some upside down stone stairs. And then to the right of this, we're going to be adding 4 stone blocks like so. And we're also going to be extending this all the way down to the ground as well. Then while we're at it, we can quickly replace this block here on the ground and chuck on a spruce door right here as well. This is the area that's going to lead down to our enchanting area down here. Next up, we can add in our stone staircase. Starting at the top here, we're going to be adding 3 stone stairs. Then below this, we're going to fill this in with some stone. Then repeat the same thing again, but 1 layer down, just adding in some stone stairs. Fill the blocks in below with some stone, and then finally some more stone stairs. Next, we're going to extend this stone wall out by an additional block like so, and then we're going to bring it forwards by 2 blocks. And then in front of this, we're going to be adding 4 stone brick blocks like so to create a kind of pillar. And then we're also going to be adding another one of these pillars in line with this existing stone brick pillar that's in the wall right here, and we're just going to extend this up to be 4 blocks high as well. Then 1 block below the top, we're going to be adding some upside down stone stairs in between all of these, just kind of connecting them up. And then down on the ground, we can actually remove these grass blocks and replace them with some more stone stairs like so. Then heading underneath here, we can add in more stone blocks to kind of just connect up to this pillar like so. So we're just going to fill in this entire area here. Next up, we're going to be removing all of the grass inside here. So just a single layer of grass all the way across the floor. Then we can replace all of the exposed dirt here with just kind of the blocks that are above it. So deep slate for the walls and then stone bricks for the pillars. And then over here, we can replace these blocks as well with some more stone and also this block here. Then directly in the center, so in line with these pillars and also this pillar here, we're going to be creating another pillar and extending this up to be 3 blocks high this time. Then on top, we're going to be adding a dirt block like so. And then to the left and right of it, we're going to place some more dirt blocks. And then behind it, we're going to add 3 stone blocks and also in front of it, connecting it up to these pillars here. Then we can remove the central dirt block and replace it with a water bucket and also a stone slab on top. And that way we have a waterlogged kind of water source here for the farms. Now what we can do is fill in these remaining rectangles here with some dirt. Then we can grab out a hoe and just till all of this into farmland. Next, directly on top of our water source here, we can chuck on a composter. And then in front and also behind it, we can also add in some chests. Then feel free to chuck in whatever crops you want. I'm going to go with some wheat on the left side and then some carrots on the right side. Now with all that done, we can add in our roof for this area. Feel free to, of course, leave this out if you prefer it looking just kind of open like this. And so the first thing we're going to be doing for the roof is adding some stone brick walls on top of these specific pillars across here. So just these ones, we're going to be leaving out the corner ones. Now on top of all of these, we're going to be chucking on a spruce fence. Then we're going to be creating a ring of spruce trapdoors kind of around all of these. I'll show you how to do it, of course. So starting firstly on the back left one, we're going to be placing, of course, a spruce trapdoor and then linking this up to on top of this fence here. Then we kind of want these to all be facing the same way. We don't really want it to turn directions because it looks a little bit weird. So what we're going to be doing is now placing in our campfires 1 block before the kind of strip that we want to add in, all the way up until here until we are 1 block away from these fences. We can also extinguish all of these. And then we can use these to now place our spruce trapdoors all the way across here. And then to place this one, we're just going to place a temporary one. And then we can bring this all the way back here as well. And at the corner here, we're just going to stop above here. We're going to turn this way and then back this way. And then we can also just destroy this one and place it like this so that it's kind of facing the same way as everything else. And then we can use the same trick that we did for the front here. Chuck on a strip of campfires behind it, making sure that they're all facing the same way as the front ones as well. And extend this all the way down to the side and then extinguish them as well with a shovel. And then in front of all of them, we can use these to place in our rest of our spruce trapdoors. And then all that's left to do for the roof here is to just fill in the rest of it with more campfires, making sure they're all, of course, facing the same way. Now with all of our roof added in, we can head up the stairs and head to the front kind of section of the farms here. And what we're going to be adding in is a spruce fence in the center, and then on the left and right, a spruce fence gate. And on top of the spruce fence, we're going to chuck a lantern on. And then we're just going to repeat this on this side as well, except instead in this gap here, we're going to be placing an additional fence gate so that we can actually walk out on top of the walls over here. And then of course, chuck on your lantern as well. Heading back through over to our main kind of walkway over here, we're going to be filling up this entire area with some stone slabs. Also feel feel free to add in some andesite slabs for some texture if you wanted to. Next, at this back area here, we're going to add a few little decorations. So firstly, in the corner, we're going to chuck on 2 barrels. Then to the right of this, we're going to place an additional barrel kind of facing towards us. And then to the right of this, once again, we're going to chuck on a chest. Then on top of the barrel here, we're going to throw on a flower pot and then also add an azalea in that. Now we're going to add a few extra lights around the place. So the first one we're going to be adding right here is directly above this door. So chuck on a stone brick wall and then a lantern on top of that. And then we're going to be adding another one here with a lantern on top again, of course. And then finally another one over here, pretty much on top of this little section right here, just like that. Then also over here beside the door, we're going to chuck on 2 flower pots on the left and right. In the right one, we're going to be adding in a blue orchid, and on the left, an azalea. Dropping down underneath this little section, we can add in a few more little details. So firstly on the left, we can add a barrel. To the right of this, a chest. Then on top of the barrel, we can add in a large amethyst bud. And then finally on this section right here, we can chuck in a flower pot with an azalea. Now let's head back over towards our area underneath the main platform, and then down here what we're going to be doing is replacing all of the floor with some textured stone and gravel. Now with our floor added in, we can head towards the inside of the area here, and then what we're going to be doing now is covering up all of this exposed dirt with some spruce trapdoors all the way up until we reach the other side here, and then we're of course going to repeat this exact same thing on this side as well. Next, in between these 2 pillars in the center here, we can look straight up and add a lantern on, and then we're going to do the same over here as well. And then at the back of the area here, we can just add in a whole bunch of double chests pretty much across the entire back section of the wall. Next, turning to the left, and on this left side wall, we're firstly going to be placing a smithing table in line with this pillar here, and then directly above it, we're going to place a barrel replacing the spruce trapdoor that's up there. Then to the left of this barrel, we're going to remove the following 2 spruce trapdoors and add in some more barrels. Then to the left of the smithing table, we can add in a crafting table, followed by a grindstone. Turning around, we can add in our brewing area. So firstly, we're going to be placing a stripped spruce wood block here, directly in line with the central pillar, and then we're going to add another one, leaving a gap just like so. Then in the central gap here, we're going to be placing some spruce stairs facing backwards, so in towards the wall, and we're also going to waterlog this with a water bucket. Then in front of the stair block here, let's add in a spruce trapdoor. To the left and right of that, some spruce signs, and then we're also going to wrap these spruce signs all the way around these stripped spruce wood blocks as well. Then on top of the 2 stripped spruce wood blocks, we can chuck on some brewing stands, and then directly above this, we can add in 3 barrels as well, making sure not to destroy the wall like I just did. And unfortunately, we have to cover up this window as well, which does kind of suck, but that's just the way it's got to be. And now we're fully done with our storage, brewing, and crafting area. We can head outside, and now let's add in our smelting area. So the first thing we need to do is dig a big section down, 1 block down into the ground. And to line this up properly, what we're going to do is align ourselves up with this side of the gate here. We're going to dig a strip all the way in towards the back of the base, and we're going to stop once we get in line with this pillar here, so second from the right. And then we're going to meet back up with underneath this pillar here as well. Then on this block, we can add in a stone block, and to the right of it, we're just going to be adding a whole bunch of stone stairs, curving around this way, all the way back up to this section, and then finally adding in another stone block. And next, what we're going to be doing is removing this entire layer of grass and also the layer of dirt below that, so a 2-block deep layer. Now with all of that excavated, we can add in our floor layer, which is going to be textured stone and gravel, pretty much exactly the same as the floor that we added in over here. Now with all of our floor added in, we can extend these walls downwards, so we're just pretty much extending the deep slate down and also the stone bricks down where the pillars are. Now with all that done, we can add in our actual smelting kind of area, and firstly what we're going to be doing is in the corner adding in a single barrel, and then we're going to extend this up to be 3 blocks high, or 3 barrels high. Then on the left and right of this, we're going to add some upside down spruce stairs. Then on the left side, we're going to add 3 blast furnaces. We're going to add another 3 above this as well, and then we're going to do the same on the right side, but instead with just some regular furnaces. Now feel free to of course replace these blast furnaces with normal ones, or likewise the other side with blast furnaces, or whatever the hell you want. It's up to you. But now on the left and right side, we're going to add in some stone brick walls just like this, just kind of a nice little design that looks like it's being held up, I guess. And then finally on the far left and far right side, we're going to add in some more barrels like so. Next up, we can add all of our details in. So firstly, we're going to be surrounding these corner barrels here with some signs. Then on top of the leftmost barrel, the one that's closest to the gate, we can chuck on a large amethyst bud. Then on top of this upside down spruce stair block, chuck on a lantern. Then on the other upside down spruce block here, we can add on a flower pot and also an azalea. And then on the far right barrel over here, add on a lantern. Then on this block right here, above the furnaces on the bottom, we can add in some campfires and also extinguish them with a shovel. Then we can grab out a single polished andesite block and place it in line with the center of these furnaces and these furnaces, so right here. And then we're going to place 4 anvils, making sure that we're standing like this, so that they're placed kind of horizontally like this. And we're just going to place them in kind of a star pattern like so. Then on top of the polished andesite block, we can add in a couple of candles and also ignite them with a flint and steel. And there we go. That's it for our furnace slash anvil area. Now we can head to the left side of the gate here and add in our animal pens and sugarcane farm. All right, so firstly, starting off with the animal farms, we're going to align ourselves up with this pillar here directly to the left of the gate. And we're going to be adding in 3 spruce fence gates coming away from it. Then we're going to add in a spruce fence and then another 3 spruce fence gates and then another spruce fence. Then we're going to bring it over to the left here and add in another 3 spruce fence gates, followed by an additional spruce fence. Then we're going to repeat this exact same thing that we did all the way down to the pillar here. So fence gates, fence, and then more fence gates. And on top of all of the fences here, we're going to be chucking on some lanterns. Then we can head through and connect up these 2 fences with some more spruce fence gates. Then it's up to you if you want to do this part or not, but we're going to be replacing all of the floor underneath the kind of animal pens area here with some coarse dirt and also some rooted dirt, just like a nice textured pattern. You can of course leave it as grass, it's entirely up to you. And now that's it for our animal pens. Now we can head to the left and add in our sugarcane farm. And to do this, firstly what we're going to be doing is removing this strip of grass all the way down to the end, spaced away 1 block from the very end, and we're going to be replacing these blocks with some stone slabs. Now we're going to be waterlogging all of these stone slabs so that there's of course water inside, so that we can place our sugar canes on the left and right side of these stone slabs. Then finally, all the way at the back here, we can add in a chest at the bottom, a chest at the top, and then underneath this chest, we're going to add in a spruce trapdoor, just like so. Now, all that's left to do for the exterior is add in our paths and also a couple of flowers. We'll actually add in the flowers right now. So to the right of the stairs here in this section, we're going to be first adding a blue orchid, followed by an allium, and then finally a lilac all the way at the back. Then on the left side of the stairs, so in this square right here, we're first going to be adding in an oxeye daisy, to the left of that an azure bluet, and then behind that a lily of the valley, followed by a tall grass block right here. And now it's time to add in our pathway. So this is where you have a decision to make. You can either follow along with the path that I'm going to add in, or you can add in like kind of the similar texture that we have here for your path. It's entirely up to you and how you want your base to kind of look. I'm just going to go with some coarse dirt path, and also sprinkle in some grass as well, and also some of the actual grass block too. So firstly, starting underneath the gate here, I'm going to add in some coarse dirt, and then I'm going to bring this out a little bit. You'll of course want to kind of just extend this as far as you want, but the whole idea is to pretty much just add in some dirt path, grass, and also coarse dirt. And I'm just going to do that real quick and show you how it looks at the end. And so here's my finished path. I found it looks best to keep the actual dirt path blocks kind of in a like straight kind of pattern, I guess. You don't really want any areas that are just kind of like this, kind of taking up the entire space. You pretty much always want some coarse dirt or regular grass beside it, and just have it in kind of like a line pattern following through all of the pathways, if that makes any sense. And then I found it easiest to also just add in the coarse dirt at the end, just sprinkling it in with the rest of the grass. I probably could have added one here as well, and then just add in maybe like 5 or 6 actual grass pieces on top, just to break up the kind of boringness looking areas, I guess. And yeah, so now we're pretty much done with the entire exterior of the base. All that's left to do now is underneath the tower, and then also the separate floors for the tower. So let's first start off with the very bottom floor here in the doorway to the left of the stairs. So first things first, let's replace all of the grass in here with some textured stone and gravel. Now with all of that done, we're actually going to be replacing this stone block here with a stone slab, which means our door is going to pop off. So we're going to have to go up here and just replace our door on like so, and head back inside. And now we're going to be extending this into the entirety of the roof using some stone slabs. So just fill in this entire area until we meet back up with this section over here, which is pretty much the top of our platform here. And now with all of that done, let's add in our enchanting area. So starting off, let's add in a giant rectangle wall of some bookshelves at the back here. We're of course going to have to cover up this window, unfortunately. And now on the left and right side, we're going to add in an additional strip of bookshelves like this, except this time we're not going to be making it 2 blocks high, so it's only 1 block high, just like that. Now on the left side, let's add in a flower pot with a blue orchid. To the right of that, a lantern, followed by a large amethyst bud. And on the other side, in the center block here, let's add in a lantern, and then to the right of that, an extinguished campfire. Now finally for the enchanting area, let's chuck in our enchanting table right in the center, and of course this does reach a full level 30. Now to the right of this, leaving a 1 block gap from this bookshelf here, let's add in 3 barrels, and then on top of the central barrel, a campfire. And then the last thing to do under here is just add in a whole bunch of double chests on the back wall here, just like that. And now with that, we're fully done with the bottom area. We can head up the ladder into the first floor of our tower. So firstly, let's add in our ceiling, which is going to be 1 block above our window here and on the top half of this block. And then let's just fill up this entire section here with some stone slabs. Then on the central one here, so in line with our window, our other window, and also our door, we can chuck on our slab here, and then also add your lantern on. Now on the back left wall, let's add in a whole bunch of double chests all the way up to the ceiling here, and then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Then on the bottom, let's add in a crafting table with a flower pot and blue orchid. Now on the back wall, let's add in 3 furnaces along the bottom. Above this, let's add in 2 barrels, and underneath the first one, a spruce slab, and then underneath the second one, a spruce trapdoor. And then finally, on top of the furnace right here, let's add in 3 candles and ignite them with a flint and steel. Now that's it for the first floor of the tower. Let's head up to the second floor. So firstly up here, let's add in our lantern, doing the exact same thing that we did on the floor just below. So add on a stone slab and your lantern. Then on the very back wall here, let's firstly add in a strip of barrels along the top, leaving a gap in the center for the window. And then we're going to cover in this little gap above them with some stone slabs. We're also going to be filling in this one here in the center. And on the central block, let's also add in a lantern. Then on the left and right side, let's add in some upside down spruce stairs, and then coming away from those, some spruce trapdoors. And then underneath each of these sections here, let's add in a single double chest, and then in between these 2 chests, add in a red bed, or whatever color bed you want. Now to the left, underneath this window here, let's add in a lectern and chuck a book and quill inside. And then all the way in this left little corner over here, let's add in some upside down spruce stairs, an armor stand, and then your armor of choice. I'm just going with some iron. And so with this floor done, we're now fully complete with the entire base. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future tutorials just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.